jaleo. Vamos y bebe una copa, no me sirva solo un dedo. Yo Madrid, tú la gata o Julieta, soy Romeo. Con Chile en ayahuasca, yo mandado con San Pedro King Kong.
Someone needs to rap off the top.
In today's episode, we pay special attention to the world of art from a very feminine point of view. We follow the career of Pastel Supernova, a dancer, model, choreographer and actress who explains us her tricks to use her femininity in order to create.
We attend the Art Gallery of Ontario in the first Thursday event to know the painter Frida Kahlo's work and her husband Diego Rivera from a different perspective.
The flamenco dancer Soledad Barrio visits Toronto in her international tour, and we have the honor to talk to her and get a better knowledge of what the art of flamenco means.
Hispanos in Canada finds out about a Hispanic film festival with the title of Current Women Filmmakers. And in our last report, we take a look at the last edition of the One of a Kind show, the largest consumer craft show in North America.
Some of you might recognize Pastel Supernova for being part of the electropop band Fritz Hilder and the Phantom. Or some might have seen her in one of her calendars or modeling. Or might have bumped into one of her videos online. Or seen her dancing with Nelly Furtado. Regardless of where you saw her, one thing we can assure: her success is the result of hard work, a continuously growth that started when she was a child.
I knew exactly what I wanted to be when I was little. I wanted to be a very feminine woman. I wanted to wear high heels. I wanted to be a model, a dancer, and a choreographer. So I started in dance, and dancing turned into choreography, and I trained professionally, classically, and worked with a contemporary company. That took me into a conceptual performance art group that by accident turned into a band. We started performing, we got very popular.
Keep an eye out for electropop group Fritz Hilder and the Phantoms, the first artist signed to Nelly Furtado's Nelstar Music.
Kids are throwing a party and they need to make some money. So, you know, Victoria's got a hookup.
And Nelly heard about us and came and saw the show, and then she asked me to be part of a video. While I was touring with her, I started dressing more and more like a pinup. That's just because I love classic style, and the more I traveled, the more I got to shop in bigger cities where they had a little bit more of what I wanted.
How do you explain to people what a pinup girl is?
It's definitely the bad girl who does portray mischief in an innocent way. So I'll use Marilyn Monroe as an example, but my personal favorite kind of pinup icon is Sophia Loren.
How much of an influence have been that fact of your background on what you do?
My mom's Venezuelan and my father's from Spain, and being a lady is incredibly important to represent your family as a cultural thing. You need to know how to walk in high heels. Presentation and etiquette are all fundamentals of what my mom grew up just telling me, and I think that's very traditional. Like, that's just a very Hispanic thing. It's just part of growing up in a Hispanic house.
Pastel Supernova is always in constant work, now with a seasonal show. Now tell us a little bit more about Naughty Nutcracker.
It's just a little mischievous story about the little reject toys that love to party.
How is the preparation for a show like that?
Well, I hold auditions before every show, usually, and for every full-length show, which is about an hour and a half, I prepare for 2 months. that creates the story, that is choosing dancers. I rehearse. I'm in rehearsals 4 or 5 times a week every day until showtime. So for 2 months I'm in the studio, and then I'll have full cast rehearsals and then solos and small groups, whatever, however it's divided. I design and create the costumes afterwards, so it's a full production. When there's rehearsal time, you have to have fun, because if it's not fun, it's not me.
Where is Pastel Supernova aiming to? What would be your ideal?
I want to keep developing as an artist and as a performer, so I would like to make Love Letters Cabaret a Toronto staple. Know exactly why you're doing what you're doing, and stick to it. Listen to nobody.
Guillermo Herrera, Hispanos en Canadá.
The Freedomania has arrived to Toronto since the AGO decided to open its exhibition Frida and Diego, Passion, Politics and Painting, a retrospective about the famous Mexican painters Frida Kahlo and Diego Rivera.
These two artists are the most expressive artists of Mexico.
The passion, the pain. Things seemed insurmountable, but somehow they were never.
Both from a cultural standpoint and political standpoint, and from the inner life standpoint of emotional feeling that Frida Kahlo showed in her work.
It was very inspirational, very colorful and very beautiful.
I just found really the honesty in all their art to be really fascinating.
I feel that the influences will not be lost.
Their work together, they culminate as an explosion of wonder of Mexican painting.
Hispanos en Canadá could talk with Kenley McKinley, Executive Director, Education and Public Programming, who shared with us her thoughts about the exhibition and the painters.
So when I think of Frida Kahlo, I often think about Diego Rivera as well, and the exhibition here is about the work of Frida and Diego and their lives together, and it's one of the first times that their artwork has been put side by side and examined in the context of their relationship. So that relationship always comes to mind when I think of Frida Kahlo, but I also think about her as a pioneering, independent woman artist who forged a very unique and singular vision of the world, of herself, and of her Mexican culture. We're always interested in bringing important artists and important works of art into our city. And Frida and Diego are both very, very popular. You see their artworks and their own images throughout popular culture. There's been popular movies made about them. And we thought it was a great opportunity, because we don't hold their collections in our collection. So we thought it would be a great opportunity to bring the real thing from Mexico to Toronto so that Torontonians could see it for themselves, in the flesh.
The AGO wanted to expand this fever and passion for these Mexican painters, and that's why they agreed to use its first Thursday event to open the gallery at night and let people know about these artists from a different point of view. From live sculptures to concerts, self-portrait workshops, Mexican food, or the chance to make flowers or write letters for the ofrenda to Frida and Diego, people had the opportunity to create and enjoy the exhibition in an original way.
On the first Thursday of every month, we're open till late, till 11:30 at night, and the whole building is transformed. We have music performances, DJs, bars, pop-up food stations. We also have artist talks, art making, so you can do free life drawing, participate in art performances, and it's a really cheap ticket price. It's $10, and the whole event is designed to build our audience of the future. So to attract downtown urban dwellers in their 20s and 30s who are really interested in culture but aren't necessarily coming to the AGO because they're not quite sure it's for them, they're not quite sure that it's cool enough. So this is our way to throw the doors open and say, try us on for size.
This is your brand. There are a lot of people out there who say they can help you grow. To put the spotlight on you with sponsored tweets. But those never last long. They use stealthy tactics that upset consumers once they're exposed. Contests and promos make you look cool, but what happens after they end? Then there's us. We know social media isn't about shouting to many. It's about listening to one. We know how to make your content sweeter. We even help you with managing your audience and turning confusion into clarity. Questions into answers. We are the Beehive. We help you grow.
Sobre todo rodeándose de buenos artistas, mucho tiene que ver con la personalidad del director de la compañía, de Martín, con su respeto al flamenco y su amor a lo que hace, y más que nada la honestidad de un artista, ¿no? Y así es como se consigue. Porque el flamenco es universal, habla del ser humano, de sus sentimientos, del dolor, la tristeza, la alegría, la fiesta, y es algo que todo el mundo podemos conectar con ello. Creo que se expresa muy bien a través de la danza también lo que el cantador está diciendo. El mundo del flamenco, que ha estado llevado sobre todo por gitanos, y han sido perseguidos, han sido marginados, entonces son pueblos que han sufrido mucho y que pueden hablar de lo que es el drama y la soledad.
The passion, the beauty, the drama, the music and dance.
The dancing, the movement and the music.
Without flamenco, it would be a terrible world.
El flamenco es muchas cosas, bueno, es una cosa, es una cultura, pero viene de tantas culturas y de tanta mezcla que es muy universal y es muy mezclado. Siempre sus espectáculos tienen una parte también teatral, y creo que piensa mucho en la puesta en escena, en el cante, en la guitarra, aparte del baile. Cuando yo voy de gira soy muy feliz, recibo muchísimo del público, solamente pienso en el momento en que subo al teatro, al escenario, para mí es maravilloso, es como un sueño, no es un trabajo. Mi vida, es toda mi vida, mi familia, mi vida, mi esposo, es que lo es todo, es mi forma de vivir.
The Spanish Resource Center, based in York University in Glendon Campus, offers a whole range of courses in language, literature, culture and linguistics. The department organizes a variety of Hispanic events throughout the year. At the moment, they have the Hispanic Film Festival called Current Women Filmmakers, Territories of the Body, Age and Identity.
Como dice el título, territorios del cuerpo, de la época y de la identidad. Las directoras son mujeres en las 5 películas. Todas son películas contemporáneas de esta época, finales del siglo XX, principios del XXI. Hablan un poco de esa relación, las relaciones de poder entre individuos y entre sociedades, tanto desde el punto de vista de género, como hombres, mujeres, sexismo, etcétera, como simplemente poder entre diferentes estratos de la sociedad. Dependiendo de la película se va tratando un tema u otro, desde películas mucho más sociales hasta películas más intimistas, más de personaje. La Yuma, por ejemplo, es de una chica que se hace boxeadora, que no es un oficio, un deporte muy común para mujeres, pero aún así dentro de la agresividad de la sociedad en la que ella vive es la manera en la que ella encuentra su identidad.
Es que yo soy Yuma.
En El Niño Pez, por otra parte, tenemos un par de chicas que tienen una relación sentimental, pero al mismo tiempo nos centramos más en otras cuestiones de poder entre la sociedad y estas dos chicas relativamente indefensas de clases sociales muy diferentes. En cambio, las otras tres películas son más sociales, más de reflexiones de grupo y no tanto de un solo personaje, como también La Lluvia, que quizás es la película más conocida de todo el ciclo, quizás es la que menos necesitaba que le abriéramos un foro, pues hace una reflexión sobre la conquista española en América y hace un paralelismo muy interesante sobre lo que está pasando en ese momento en el país y lo que pasó hace 500 años durante la conquista. En Asalto al Cine, por ejemplo, la directora Iria Gómez Concheiro hace una propuesta interesante, a ratos quizá un poquito inocente, pero enseña cómo es imposible, una vez que tú naces dentro de un estrato social, salir de esa imagen y ese prejuicio que te tienen creado para ti, y cómo tienes que buscar alternativas para pertenecer a esa jungla que es la Ciudad de México, ¿no? Bonita por otra parte, pero difícil para vivir en ese sentido. Por último, ¿Qué culpa tiene el tomate? Son 7 documentales unidos que hacen un recorrido por los mercados de 6 países de América Latina y un mercado en Galicia, en España. El documental está hecho para criticar esa falta de visión que tenemos sobre los procesos de cómo llega nuestra comida desde que es una planta o un animal, etcétera, hasta que nosotros la vemos envuelta en un empaque de plástico aséptico, etcétera. Que lo usan sobre todo para enseñar diferencias culturales y de vida entre los 7 países que nos están mostrando. Esta película está filmada por 7 directores distintos, 4 hombres y 3 mujeres. Así que es la película en la que también hubo directores hombres en nuestro ciclo. Y después de las películas siempre organizamos un debate, o no un debate como tal, sino simplemente una charla sobre la película. Y han resultado discusiones muy interesantes, incluso de gente que no se siente con la capacidad de expresar ideas abstractas y complicadas en español. El foro se ha vuelto algo, como suele ocurrir en Canadá, trilingüe, entonces hay quien habla en francés, hay quien habla en inglés, hay quien habla en español, todos se entienden y los debates han sido muy enriquecedores. Nos sorprendió porque ha habido más de 100 personas por película. Aún así nos gustaría poder captar más público de fuera de la universidad, pero estamos trabajando con Pragda y con la Agencia Española de Cooperación Internacional para crear un nuevo ciclo. Desde luego tendremos uno que será a partir de septiembre de este año. Agradecerles la oportunidad de la entrevista y invitar a la gente que nos vea que vengan a conocer el Centro de Recursos. Es una herramienta muy útil, gratuita y con los brazos abiertos para todos.
The history of the one-of-a-kind show began when in December of 1975, 3 artisan friends couldn't find a place to sell her work before Christmas. Together, they decided to create their own holiday shopping venue.
This is the biggest, most reputable show in Canada. This is the place to be. We've been coming here since 1995. So, you know, it's got the best craftspeople in Canada. We've got, you know, throughout the show there are items from, you know, a couple bucks up to several $1,000s. So whatever you're looking for, you can find really neat stuff here.
Hispanos in Canada could visit the One of a Kind, the largest consumer crafts show in North America. The show takes place every year during the months of December and March, and it is a good alternative to find the perfect gift. What can you find here that you can't, like in a big mall, in a big store?
Well, there's two things. One, you can find products that are handmade, that are very unique, and the other opportunity is to talk to people who actually make them. And I think that that's actually the coolest part about coming to this show.
But the One of a Kind show is not just a shopping place. You can find exotic art, different food, model shows, and quite particular people.
Broke at Christmas time, and then I had to go home and bring all, you know, everyone some presents, and I didn't have anything, so I made some dudes, and they're like, these are great. I'm like, okay, should make some more and sell them, and then ta-da!
Yeah, what are they made of, actually?
It's a polymer clay, so it's like plasticine, but you can cook it in your oven at home, and then through the magic of chemistry, they come out rock hard.
I was trying to get through fine arts in university, and I needed money, so I started making puppets for a store in Old Montreal. So I was doing mostly like Sesame Street rip-off puppets. Didn't say that, but later on I did my own models. So I started about 20 years ago. So it has to be a simple design, you know, because I don't want them to cost a lot. So they have to be affordable so kids can use them and safe. So I sometimes I think, oh, I want to make monsters, furry monsters, I'll do that, or like little critters like a bee and stuff.
Do you find that it's better to kind of set up shop here than say at a mall or something, just because it's kind of...
Well, this is sort of just as, you know, I just make so much, you know, they're not mass produced, so just a craft show like this, I can sell them, even though I find they're not expensive. If they were being sold in a mall, you know, they'd be expected to have things made in China, and then they would really like, you know, then you want this at like 1/3 the price, you know. And it's just, so the craft show is a perfect venue for my puppets.
My two passions got together about music and woodworking, and so I started a study about wood resonance years ago. And so that led to many prototypes, and the prototypes led to what I'm doing right now in Tambour. It's a musical instrument. It's a percussion instrument. It's actually it's a resonance box. It's by hitting on the wood, you make it resonate, and by working the wood, I can tune it. So I tune them to different keys. They are a little magical, so I can show you what it sounds like. Talking is. The first one took me 5 years from the idea I had and to the final product. So I went through a few hundreds prototypes. There's a research about tuning too, because once you know how to control the sound of the wood, you have to decide which tonality, what kind of harmony you want. So this was another thing too, another issue. Of course, I mean, this is a one-of-a-kind instrument, so I mean, to be at the one-of-a-kind show makes a lot of sense to me. It's, of course, it's handcraft, but it's also unique.
So remember, if you want to find a unique gift, a unique food, or unique people, the One of a Kind show will be back in March.